I got me a cup of tea. Oh my. I gotta stir it. Gotta stir my tea. Come on in, everybody. Yeah, come on in. It's just been it's not rain today. Humidity is right at 100%. And it's just dreary out. It's just dreary. You ever have one of those days? It's just cloudy and overcast. Let me see if there's weather around us. There's always weather, but is it good weather or bad weather? Nope, there's nothing around us. Just nothing around us. But it's coming down from the northwest. But it's not doing anything. It's just churning, just churning. So, yeah, it's fixing to rain, or Joanne is. It's just a weird, weird day. And it's been this way for 2 days. Not just yesterday, but it was Saturday too. So come on in. I have shared I entitled this show Let It Ride. And that's what I have done today on YouTube is I just let it ride. Just I finished up a couple of videos that I was watching before the show this morning, and I went back and I finished those up. And one was with Pastor Hagen, and he did a whole healing service, and it's just wonderful. And then I heard a beautiful song, and I finished up another video from Morning Star Ministries and Sid Roth out of Charlotte. And that was another healing service. It's just, it's like you got to receive your healing. And at the end of Pastor Hagen, oh, I don't know. I've listened to so many things. Somebody changed the words to a song. It was about I believe, and then he said, "You got to receive." And then they sang another verse to it, and they said, "I receive." So I believe and I receive. So it was just a beautiful, beautiful day of YouTube, me working, me, I gathered up all the trash for tomorrow. Our trash day is Tuesday. But I thought I'd get a head start on that, and I cleaned my refrigerator out today. And there's just we got a notification this morning. Well, I got it last week and I put it on my calendar that Duke Power is going to be doing some work in our immediate area, and our power is going to be out for six hours, starting at 9 a.m. on Wednesday morning. So that's when I start work. So I've got to have all my work done for Wednesday that I would do that morning, which is all for Thursday. I've got to get all of that done before they turn the power off, because when my power goes out, I have no internet. Essentially, I have no internet, and it's not usually been that way. But not only do I need to let my YouTube ride, but I need to be prepared for 6 hours without power. Now, we have a generator. It's going to run our freezers, our refrigerators, our microwave. It's going to do all of that. But when the power goes out, I have no internet, and my hotspot on my phone does not work well. So I've got to make sure everything is charged up and ready to go. And it'll just it'll be an inconvenience, but time flies. It's been 6 hours since 9 o'clock this morning, and time flies. I haven't had a cardinal visit me today, Jennifer. I mean, this this season, this spring. He has not shown up, and that just kind of tells me that Ben is settled, or my sister is settled. You know, my sister and her first husband and Ben have all died since 2018. When are you going on vacation? I don't plan on going on vacation. I don't really like vacations because it's not really a vacation. I have to do so much work to be ready ahead of time that I might as well just stay with I like my routines. I like my routines. And it just works. I make it a habit of every Friday restarting my phone and restarting my computer if I haven't done it all week. And I restarted this computer after I did the show this morning. This is just for my shows. Well, I pretty much stay off of Facebook except to do a show. And I use a product called Restream.io where I restream to I'm restreaming to 4 platforms: YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. So it's running to all 4 platforms. I don't know if it works on Instagram. It says it does, but I've never seen my show on Instagram unless I've actually posted it. So I'm getting ready for Wednesday to be without power. I've just been focusing hard, but I've been utilizing YouTube as spiritual background music because that's mainly what I listen to. But I got this lady, and I don't even know her name, but she has a book, Dining on a Dime, which she popped up and started talking, and she was quite interesting. I looked over at her, and she was talking about uh, being prepared. And I'm all about preparedness. But she was making this little video just before Thanksgiving. But we're coming up on Memorial Day, and there are lots of good sales on Memorial Day. It's usually Boston butts, pork, different things like that for barbecues. And she was talking about cleaning her small freezer out, putting things into her big freezer and defrosting and cleaning that, and then having that small freezer for the sales that were coming up so that she would have a place to put them. Well, my refrigerator is totally cleaned out. I did all of that. And the garbage is gathered up, ready to go. Robert was going to gather up the recycling and take that with him. And, you know, we're ahead of the game. And when you can get just one step ahead, one little step ahead, uh, it just helps. It just helps. So somebody, she was doing this video. Let me see if I can't go to that, but I shared her video on our community page on YouTube, so you can find her. A cardinal just flew by. I don't have any windows where you can see a cardinal on me, but maybe it flew by. I don't I don't have any window that you can see out of. That's a picture on a sheet oh, it's her house. Yeah, cardinals. And I talked to Miss Julie last night. I haven't talked to Julie in a couple of months. She's been real busy. Her 14-year-old son is in sports, and so she's got a new job where she's practically had to become a contractor, and her boss has a lot of rental property, and when somebody moves out, they remodel and do stuff. So she's been super busy, and her daughter moved in with her. She's 21, and it's but I hadn't talked to Julie in a while, and it was good to catch up with her last night, but I didn't get a whole lot done last night. So I've been trying to do a little bit of catch up and get ahead because of the power going to be out. Oh, and I forgot to read our little devotional this morning. Let me find day 15. Day 15. Uh, God rocks when he rescues. The, the Lord thundered from heaven, and the voice of the Most High resounded. He sat, he shot his arrows and shattered the enemies. Great bolts of lightning and routed them. He rescued me because he delighted in me. This is Psalms 18, verses 13, 14, and 19. And I just loved listening to Pastor Hagen's sermon this morning, and I finished it up this afternoon. His sermon gave all of these healing scriptures from the Old Testament. And I just loved it was just beautiful. So if you get a chance to listen to that, do so. You'll be blessed by it. You will be blessed by it. Wow, the Lord, love that God rocks when he rescues. We can just learn so much when we just let YouTube run. And I play with my YouTube algorithm. I go in, and if it's something I don't want to see, I don't want to experience, I just say, don't recommend this channel to me. And I just go in, and sometimes I'll spend 5 minutes saying, don't recommend this, because the evil one can put some awful things in front of you. And I just rebuke it immediately and say, don't recommend this channel. And it works. And my news feed, my YouTube feed becomes a spiritual journey. Just a spiritual journey. So it is a beautiful thing when you use something that's meant for evil and turn it into something good. Because YouTube really wouldn't like that we're having a spiritual journey with our YouTube channel. We are so blessed to be able to hear pastors like Derek Prince and Kenneth Hagin right now. And they've been gone from this world for almost 20 years. They left in 2003, 5 days apart. 5 days apart. So sometimes we just need to let it ride. And we got to hold on, because God is going to show us some stuff. He's going to show us some good stuff. Life's too short. Life's too short. And when you're ready to receive, being ready to receive at all times is such a joy. I think Sister Patty's asleep. Thank the Lord. She needed to rest. She doesn't do well. At night, she goes to bed at 11 o'clock every night. I'm a night owl, so it's usually 1:15 for me. But I don't get up until 8:30 or 9 o'clock. This morning I got up at 8:30. But we have to just be ready to let it ride. When you've got something trained, you can let it ride. And when you learn to rebuke what it is you don't want to see, We had, you know, there's a little song we used to sing in Sunday school. Be careful, little hands, what you do. Be careful, little eyes, what you see. Be careful, little ears, what you hear. We have to guard those senses and not allow. I mean, this is how our children get robbed of their childhood. Is they're exposed to things when mommy's not around and daddy's not around to protect them. They're exposed to things that are not good. And it opens the door. It opens the door. Carol, you're so right. Guard the gates. Guard the gates. So when you feel your soul, your spirit with good things, when you feel it with good things, you're what's the word for it? You're evicting the bad things that want to come in and destroy you, because the devil is everywhere. He wanders the earth trying, and his minions. Imagine why we have a childhood movie called Minions. He wanders the earth trying to kill, steal, and destroy you. Well, somebody's asking a question. Do we sell the sticker pack separately? Yes, we do. They are, and you can take a discount on them. Just go to the whole fly shop and HTTPS. Always make sure the S is there. :// shop.flylady.net. And yeah, we just look at the whole fly shop. We at the very top we break our a website down at our fly shop down into sections. I think there's 5 or 6 sections with the new section of the last chance items. Sometimes when you're going through your day, you just set your timer for every 15 minutes, and when your timer goes off, you get up and do 2 minutes. That'd be 8 minutes each hour. And if you do that all day long, 8 times 8 is that's 64 minutes. Well, that's 64 times. No, that's 64 minutes. That's almost an hour that you've done doing 2 minutes at a time. Imagine that. Imagine that. Well, the Face Control Journal is free for download. Free download on our website. I never felt right about charging for it. Missouri's getting rain. My grandson is in Colorado right now. He drove out with his friend and they picked up my insurance agent's son, Moultrie. Moultrie cleaned our back deck a couple summers ago. We gave him a summer job of power washing our house. And he and his brother. And they picked Moultrie up at the Denver airport last night at 11 o'clock. And they were going to go skiing one day at the top of the Great Divide. And then they were headed to Moab, Utah. And they've got a couple of weeks before they have to be at work, whatever that is. Nobody's told me what Ethan's summer job is. Sarah went to her summer job this morning. It breaks my heart for Emily and Justin, but she's going to be working at a camp, Ridge Haven camp, all summer long. Ethan's done it. She's never done it for the whole year, whole summer. I've worked at camps here, and they're good kids, and they like serving the Lord. Sarah works in the kitchen. Everybody needs to have a job working in the kitchen or or waiting tables one time in their life. Oh, well that's a good idea, Mary. It's 11 missions. One of them's clean off your desk. So that's a good idea to make it your own. She's on Juanita's just on the western side on the way to Moab. Well, if I need to get somebody to put their hands on my grandson, I'll be hollering at you, Juanita. But I know God's got him covered because I have prayed uh, a covering over him. And we all need to do that over our children and our grandchildren on a continual basis, just every night. I know I'm here today because I had a grandmother and a great grandmother that prayed for me. Yep. So you be that praying grandmother. And, the Bible talks about the righteousness going through the generations to 1,000 generations. Imagine that. You can affect, AFFECT. Uh-oh, there went a bag of seeds. You can affect your future. This morning I ran across a picture. Let me see if I can find it. Y'all won't believe this picture. It was an old picture. We got a Kenneth Hagin, the ABCs of Bible faith is coming on in 30 minutes. But this is my great grandmother, Granny Pickard. You really can't see her beautiful face. That's me with the really long hair, and I've got some jelly I made for her. And that's Justin. And I remember going out to the chicken coop, getting chased by a rooster, gathering eggs, and she reached into the nesting box, and she felt something hard and something scaly, and there was a chicken snake right there in the nesting box. Right there in the nesting box. And Uncle Billy took the chicken out because it had eaten one of their nest eggs. And a nest egg for them was a golf ball. So they had golf balls in the nesting box. And Uncle Billy took that. My great grandmother's husband died when her children were young. And it was a big line of brothers. And the one unmarried brother took over taking care of the family. That's the way they did it back then. Anyway, Uncle Billy killed that chicken snake. It probably wasn't a bad snake, but it had eaten one of the eggs and it was going to kill the snake anyway. One of the golf balls. And got the golf ball out, threw the chicken in the woods, threw the snake in the woods for other critters to eat, and saved the eggs. Because if you have eggs and chickens, and you have chickens that get broody and sit on eggs, and I've just been so excited over Grandpa Adler. He had one of his free range chickens named Sassy to sit on some eggs, and she hatched 3 of them. Hatched 3 I never heard of a chicken snake. Well, it's really probably what kind of snake is that? Uh, that's just what we grew up calling them. It was I got a funny story to tell you. After I left Justin's dad, he calls me up one Sunday and he says, "You know, if I didn't know better, I'd think you did this." I've never done anything malicious in my whole life. And I said, "Well, what happened?" And he said, "Well, I went to make up the bed this morning and I took the pillow off of your side of the I slept up against the wall. I just had a little walkway. Took the pillow off of your side of the bed, and underneath the pillow was a chicken snake." And I'm thinking, how did that get in the house? Well, come to find out, Justin's dad lives in Tiptonville, Tennessee, rural area, northwest corner of the state, real close to Reelfoot Lake. King snakes are good snakes. They eat snakes. It's not a garter snake. It's more like a I just don't know what kind of snake it is, really and truly, but it's a big snake. Well, this snake was coiled up under my pillow, and if I'd have stuck my hand under that pillow and felt that snake, I would have just wow. Well, Justin got one of the fireplace gloves on and he took the snake outside. Justin was 16 at the time, 17. He took the snake outside and at the edge of the field, put it out in the field. And not long after that, it was in the pump house. It was in the pump house, curled up on Justin's sled. It wasn't a king snake because Justin wouldn't have killed a king snake, but it was a rat. It's probably a rat snake, is what they're called, a rat snake. And I'm trying to figure out how that snake got in the house. Well, the internet says another name for a chicken snake is a rat snake. Yay, finally remembered. And Reelfoot Lake was formed by an earthquake in 1811 and 1812. And the quake was 8.2, 8.4. It was a pretty big earthquake. Bells rung in New York. That's a long way. And there was a crack in the brickwork around the house, around the heating and air conditioning unit. And that snake got in through that crack and went up beside the trunk line from the air conditioning to the return air. And that's how it got in the house. I'm pretty sure of it. But he just swore if he didn't know better, I did it. Because I wouldn't, well, first off, I'm not going to pick up a snake. Even though I watched this little old girl get a rattlesnake out of her chicken coop a while ago on a little video. Like I said, I was letting it ride. And, it just, whew, life is good. But I wouldn't do that to anybody. I'd be afraid it'd give them a heart attack. Yeah, God brought me to North Carolina. I didn't know why. I mean, I have said in the past I would never want to live in North Carolina, but I spent the last 30 years almost in North Carolina. I moved here in October of 1994. King snakes are good snakes. Pillow snake. Can you imagine finding that? I can't. I can. Now, I have had a cat. in the springtime and cool nights, we like to open up our doors. And one night, our cat, I don't know which cat it was, we've had several, brought, I think it was Geechee, brought in a snake. And it was a little ringneck snake. And the next thing I know, the snake is like crawling across the floor. And I'm screaming. Another time, the cat got one of our frogs out of the pond. And these are bullfrogs, these are big frogs. And he had this whole frog's body in its mouth, just the whole body in its mouth. And hanging out the sides of the cat's mouth were two frog legs right here. And oh, it's somebody's won't know if it's move-in May time. I'm not going to do it today, and I forgot to do it this morning. So y'all got to remind me tomorrow morning to move in May. We talked about it, but we didn't do it. But we were all moving. Well, y'all were, I wasn't. But it looked like a little Fu Manchu mustache on this cat. And I'm screaming at the cat, and Robert is trying to get the frog out of the cat's mouth without hurting the frog because it was a huge frog. I mean, it was a big frog. So finally, Robert tapped on the forehead of the kitty, and the kitty opened its mouth, and the frog jumped out. At which point, the game was on again, and then the frog played dead. The frog played dead. You know, morning when we're blessing our homes on Monday mornings, it is an aerobic experience in itself. You should study king snakes a little bit. They take out rattlesnakes. Copperheads are awful. Copperheads are mean. They're just mean snakes. And Robert saw a couple years ago coming down off the mountain from seeing Charles. There was this big, huge timber rattler in the road, and he stopped, mainly to guard the snake in case somebody was going to come by. And country people just run over a snake faster than anything, but he doesn't. And he got a picture of this. He commented to this snake how handsome he was, and that he needed to get off in the woods so he would be safe. Now, I've done the same thing, but it wasn't with a poisonous snake. It was with a big black snake that was at least 10 feet long. I know you don't believe me, but this was a snake crossing the road up on Looking Glass Rock that circles around the backside of the rock. And there was a campsite to one side, and the rock was over here. And this snake, it was a handsome snake too. But I didn't want anybody to kill the snake. So I stood guard. I parked my big old fat Mercury Grand Marquis right in the middle of the road, and I dared anybody to come at me till this snake crossed the road. Y'all. Yeah, but I protect that snake. Does good things in the world. It kills things. Anyway, y'all, be good, kind, and sweet. Be good to yourself by letting YouTube ride. But make sure you get it where you only mark the things you don't want to see. Mark the things you don't want to see so they won't come back in your news feed. And then you never have to see them again. Be kind to others by doing nice things for them and not accusing them of bad things. And let the joy that comes from the Lord that's filling you, because you're filling your soul with good stuff, let that overflow out of you all the time. I love you all. Love you all so much. I'll catch you later. Bye.